Hey everyone, welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, where we dive deep into the dark, twisted worlds of your favorite shows. If you're obsessed with Wednesday on Netflix, you already know that Season 2 cranked up the creepy factor with new characters, body swaps, and ghostly encounters. And today, we're unraveling one of the most enigmatic figures yet, Rosaline Rotwood, the psychic Nevermore Academy teacher brought to life by none other than Lady Gaga. Who exactly is Rosalyn? Why does her spirit linger in the halls of Nevermore? And how does she tie into Wednesday Addams' chaotic Season 2 adventure? Stick around because we're breaking down her origins, powers, personality, ghostly rules, and that wild body swap curse. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss more Wednesday breakdowns. All right, let's jump right in.
Have you ever come across the name Rosaline Rotwood?
Rosaline Rotwood's background. To understand Rosalyn, we need to rewind a bit, back to the 1960s at Nevermore Academy. This was an era filled with rebellion, counterculture, and in the world of Nevermore, occult experimentation. Rosaline Rotwood wasn't just a regular teacher, she was a force of nature. She taught runes and ancient cryptology, the kind of professor who thought translating centuries-old curses made the perfect midterm assignment. Students described her as both mesmerizing and terrifying. She had a reputation for seeing right through people, exposing their deepest flaws with just a glance. One of her most devoted students was Hester Frump, desperate for Rosalyn's approval. But Rosalyn wasn't fooled. She knew Hester lacked the raw psychic potential needed to ascend into the ranks of the most powerful ravens. Instead of false encouragement, Rosalyn gave her brutal honesty, the kind of mentorship that hurts in the moment but sticks with you forever. Outside of Nevermore, Rosalyn lived in a quaint cottage tucked away in the woods, but it wasn't some cozy fairy tale house. This place was legendary. Inside, she kept a séance chamber lit by endless rows of candles, lined with ritual tools, spell books, and enchanted mirrors. On weekends, she'd host secret gatherings for students brave enough or foolish enough to enter. It became a hot spot for supernatural exploration, but also whispered rumors that Rosalyn dabbled too far into forbidden practices.
Reckless child.
Tell me how I can break.
Her death and the Raven headstone. Like all good ghost stories, Rosalyn's life didn't have a neat ending. She died mysteriously. No official cause ever recorded in Nevermore's archives. Some say it was an accident during one of her own rituals. Others whisper she chose to cross into the afterlife intentionally, hoping to exist between realms. Her burial was unlike any other faculty member. Instead of a plain grave, Rosalyn was honored, or maybe cursed, by a raven-shaped headstone that emanated strange energy. Carved into it was a Latin inscription that only a raven psychic could activate. Reciting it allowed a temporary boost in visions, a way of peering further into the beyond than most psychics dared. For decades, students avoided her grave out of fear, but it lingered as a tempting shortcut to greater power. Wednesday meets Rosalyn. Fast forward to Season 2. Wednesday Addams is at a low point. Her visions are unstable, her grip on her raven power slipping. Desperate, she heads straight to Rosalyn's grave. When she recites the inscription, Rosalyn's ghost manifests. Pale, ethereal, and commanding, she offers Wednesday the clarity she craves, but not without rules. Rosalyn warns, keep your hands steady in the candlelight, never break the raven's gaze, and never disrespect the ritual. And of course, this being Wednesday, things don't go smoothly. Enid barges in mid-ritual, breaking the connection. The result, a magical disaster. Wednesday and Enid's souls swap bodies. This wasn't some goofy accident. It was a test orchestrated by Rosalyn's lingering spirit. Through the body swap curse, she forced Wednesday to experience empathy and vulnerability by literally walking in her best friend's skin. For a ghost, that's some next-level teaching strategy. The séance chamber and the riddle. Later in episode 6, Wednesday, still trapped in Enid's body, sneaks into Rosalyn's abandoned cottage. The séance chamber is intact, frozen in time, like Rosalyn just stepped out. And that's where Rosalyn appears again, this time as a golden hooded specter. Instead of direct instructions, she drops a chilling riddle. To reclaim your own flesh, you must be willing to die in this borrowed skin. Oh, and there's a catch. If Wednesday doesn't solve the riddle before dawn, both she and Enid will be trapped in limbo permanently. It's a twisted puzzle, but also a lesson in sacrifice. For once, Wednesday has to consider someone else's well-being as equal to her own. This sequence becomes a turning point in Wednesday's arc. It's not just about reversing the curse, it's about growth. Rosalyn acts less like a villain and more like a ruthless mentor, forcing Wednesday to confront her arrogance and lack of compassion.
To reclaim your own flesh, you must be willing to die in this borrowed skin.
Appearance and personality. Rosaline Rotwood isn't your typical ghost. She's tall, strikingly pale, with platinum blonde waves and piercing green eyes. Lady Gaga brings her to life with a blend of gothic elegance and rock star energy, the kind of presence that makes you shiver and stare at the same time. As a ghost, she often manifests in two forms, flowing spectral robes or her golden hooded specter state. Both radiate an aura of authority, the kind that demands silence when she speaks. Her personality is equal parts intimidating professor and cryptic guide. She doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't coddle. When she speaks, it's in riddles, warnings, and sharp truths that cut to the heart of whoever listens. To Wednesday, she's both a critic and a guide, the kind of figure you resent but secretly respect.
Rarely renewed, but beware. If you pull your palm from the flame...
Rosaline's powers. Rosaline is more than just a wandering ghost. Her abilities mark her as one of the most powerful ravens in Nevermore's history. Psychic visions and psychometry. Even in life, she could glimpse the future, sometimes in chillingly precise flashes. She also mastered psychometry, the ability to touch objects and sense their history. Second sight. Unique to her, she could grant others temporary visions. Wednesday only regains her power because Rosaline shares it through ritual. Pyrokinesis. Rosaline manipulates fire effortlessly, lighting candles with a gesture. Fire became her symbol in séances, flight, and bioluminescence. In spectral form, she drifts through the air and radiates glowing light, often in eerie white or gold tones.
Head over heels with a huckster. I sense none of that sentimentality in you.
Abilities beyond powers. What made Rosaline legendary wasn't just raw power, it was how she used it. Mentorship. She could unlock potential in students, but only if they were willing to face harsh truths. Strategic insight. Rosaline had a gift for spotting flaws. She could tell who would succeed, who would fail, and how to push them to the edge. Ritual mastery. Her séances and rituals were exact, powerful, and transformative. Even her ghost continues to shape events with these lingering spells.
This is Rosaline Rotwood.
Professor Orloff said she used to teach this.
Weaknesses and rules. Even Rosaline wasn't untouchable. Ghostly limitations. She can't physically interact with the world. Her influence relies on rituals, visions, or willing participants. Dependence on compliance. If someone disrupts her rituals, things spiral. The body swap incident proved how fragile her rules were. Consequences of overreach. Rosaline's magic is powerful, but volatile. Push too far, and the blowback can be catastrophic.
Rotwood is buried in the Nevermore graveyard.
Why Rosaline matters. So why introduce Rosaline in Season 2? Simple. She's not just a ghost cameo. She's a catalyst for Wednesday's growth. Without Rosaline, Wednesday never learns to empathize with Enid on such a personal level. Without her riddle, Wednesday doesn't confront her own selfishness. Rosaline also expands the lore of Nevermore. Her presence reminds us that the Academy's history is filled with powerful figures who left unfinished business. She embodies the school's dark, mystical side, the one even Morticia's generation whispers about. And then there's the casting. Lady Gaga as Rosaline Rotwood. Genius. She brings star power, eccentric charisma, and an aura that fits perfectly into Wednesday's gothic universe.
There will be a price to pay.
Fan theories and future possibilities. Fans are buzzing with theories. Could Rosaline return in Season 3? Her ghost isn't tied to just one ritual, so there's room for her to pop up again, maybe as a guide for other Raven psychics, or even as a warning figure against darker forces. Some speculate that her mysterious death may connect to Nevermore's hidden enemies, opening the door for more lore. Another theory? That her body swap curse wasn't random at all, but part of a bigger test linked to the prophecy around Wednesday herself. Rosaline may be less of a teacher and more of a guardian tied to Wednesday's fate.
Told me that if I read the inscription on your grave, you would grant me second sight.
Our nerdy thoughts. Rosaline Rotwood is one of those characters that sticks with you long after her scenes are over. A psychic professor from the 1960s, a ghost with eerie elegance, and a mentor who teaches through riddles and curses, she's unforgettable. She's not a villain, not a hero, but something in between, a supernatural force of growth. Her origins connect us to Nevermore's deep past. Her ghostly lessons reshape Wednesday's future, and her presence leaves fans begging for more. Whether she returns in Season 3 or remains a haunting memory, Rosaline Rotwood proves that in the world of the Addams Family, the dead are never truly gone. So what do you think? Should Rosaline get more screen time? Maybe even a spin-off of her own? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your theories. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, share with your fellow Wednesday fans, and subscribe for more deep dives. Next up, we're tackling Tyler Galpin's Hyde evolution, so stay tuned. Until then, remember, in the world of Nevermore, even ghosts have homework. Stay spooky.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.